The horrors of retirement. These are scarier than any horror movie I could dream up. Yeah, there's nothing scarier than retiring to some other state with your millions upon millions of dollars with your husband. The only thing scary about that is the way that you decided to propose to Ryland, Shane. You know, a lot of people talk about the fact that, you know, what Shane has done is unforgivable. This is unforgivable. Why are you on your knees like that? Are you trying to ask him to marry you? Or are you trying to do something completely different? I don't want to imagine any of those. That reminds me of that image circulated that was alleged to be of Shane Dawson and Ryland. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know why that disturbs me and why that is the real haunting of Shane Dawson. I see that Shane Dawson is still a patriot to his country. That will get a lot of people back on side. You can't really half accuse Shane Dawson of being over dramatic, can you? That is kind of one thing that he very much has been in his YouTube career. He's always been one for the finer things of a drama.
So, this is a sign in my new house. This was here when we went to the open house.
One of my favourite things is the sign he has on his wall. We count our blessings, we forgive quickly, we make mistakes, we make memories, we love deeply, we cherish friends, and we say I'm sorry. I'd assume that means that there will be a proper apology video on the way. It's part of the 10 Commandments.
One shall not have sexual relations with their cats.
Oh. This is so cheesy, but it's cute, right? In this house, we laugh a lot, we count our blessings, see, I can't even get through it, but it's really cute.
I still don't like it.
We say, I'm sorry. Yes, we do. Don't worry, I'll get to that.
I know I probably shouldn't be laughing. I know people are going to be like, oh, don't laugh at Shane. But, you know, that was funny. I'm sure he will be saying sorry for the rest of his life.
Also, did you know the Dolan twins retired and then started a candle line?
That is my plan.
I'm serious.
Wait.
I was just on Instagram and I was like, I wonder what they're doing. And then it says founder of Weight Car.
Or maybe retirement is the scariest thing on the planet. I take it back. I know we're meant to be talking about Shane and holding him responsible or accountable, I guess, or whatever the kids on the internet say nowadays. But I just want to say that the one people who I want to hold responsible and accountable is the Dolan twins. I bought socks from them in 2019. I have the receipt, I have the email. And they were like $50. And I was going to make a video on the socks and how bad they were. But they never arrived. Ever. And I want my refund.
Don't give away the next part of the series. God, Ryland. This is my living room. What are you doing?
Oh, I was gonna let you show the room.
Well, no, I wanted to show you. Look, he's still here. He didn't leave me.
It's so glamorous. I'm at the Met Gala, as you can tell. I have so many people styling me and working with me. Everyone's left. I'm just kidding. No, we're great.
I'm not going to make the joke. I was going to say something about that dog has seen some things. That would be too easy, too low-hanging fruit. So I'm just going to do this bit where I say I'm not going to make the joke, but I have technically made the joke in part, but I can do it without being held responsible for the fact that it's like a joke about... Let's move on.
Anyways, what I was saying. I feel like I shouldn't talk about this. Whatever. Should we talk about it? Yeah. Is it weird that there's a candle while I'm talking about this? Is it too much?
I lit the candle. Blame me. Come after me.
Okay. Okay. Here's what I'll say.
And I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh, it's very disingenuous." You know, he's kind of just like jumping around everything.
If you're watching this Alex clip where he's talking there, you could tell that it's quite disingenuous.
I'm not going to be one of those weirdos who does like the body language,
you know,
and
he looks like a freak.
They do. I mean, sometimes you can just listen to what somebody says and just, you know, maybe take it as if they're being relatively truthful. I don't think there's a problem with that. It doesn't mean you have to like him. It doesn't mean you have to forgive him for all of the stuff that he did. You don't have to do it. Oh, you don't even have to watch his stuff. In fact, I suggest don't do that if you don't like it. Don't watch it ever again. Otherwise, you're the reason that, you know, he can carry on. You're contributing.
I'm very, very, very disconnected from the person that I was in my early 20s. To a point where when I see that person, it makes me feel really sad and sick to my stomach. But some things I've learned over the last year and a half is I can't just pretend like that person didn't exist. So I've really come to peace with that. And also, and I don't want to get too much into this, but because I felt like I had made a lot of growth before I got canceled. The last 5 or 6 years in and out of therapy, dealing with stuff, I feel like I grew as a person.
I think everybody changes. You'd hope anyway. Unless you're perfect. If you're born perfect, then, you know, I'm jealous of you. But I think to say that he's the exact same person he was in 2008, 2007, is just grossly unfair. But I think Shane goes on to make a great point about learning at a certain point you just have to accept that it happened, and now you just have to move on. You know, you can't just live in the past all of the time.
I feel like I learned a lot. I would never say or do any of those jokes or any of those things ever that I did back then. So it was a weird thing where, like, I felt like I got to a place where I was proud of what I was making on YouTube, proud of my personal life, proud of who I was becoming. Like, I felt like I was growing up and I was excited about the next chapter, and then it felt like everything went spiraled down, and then I got canceled, and then it felt like the end of the world, and you know, everything felt like the worst thing ever for like months. Like, it lasted months. And I think part of me was upset because I was like, I made so much growth, and now I'm being canceled over things from the past, and that's not me anymore. But that forced me to really not just push things away and really face everything head on and realize that that was me and that is me, but I can learn from it. And like, it also made me realize that I can't focus on what other people think of me. I can't control the way that people feel about me. I can't control how people react when I'm getting canceled. People in my life, like, I can't control if they're scared for their own career, for their own thing. And, you know, I was very like, it was really hard.
Now, I find what Shane said there to be something that I actually quite relatively relate to. I know that's a good thing. That might be really bad. I don't see this as an apology video. I see this as somebody, you know, reconciling with who they are as a human being and the human experience and what it's like to exist. Somebody who's realised that, you know, everything is perceivable and that, you know, stuff changes and you can't have everybody like you. And do you need to? Is that healthy? Is that something that you could? Is that a standard that you can even live to? Not to say that Shane didn't lower the fucking bar. He took it from here and then just like dropped it. Like you probably could have tried a bit harder. But I think Shane Dawson probably should have just carried on. I mean, the break seems to have done him well. You know, I choose to believe that I think he is actually really, really sorry for all of the things that he's been accused of doing. But the one thing I do think is that Shane probably should have just continued. You know, because people will just hate him. But these are the same people who are still watching people like Trisha Paytas, Jeffree Star, and James Charles, people who just carried on making stuff, who didn't really go away, they just came back. And I think if they could come back, then so can he. Not that that means you should like them. Not that it means that you should be happy that they're back. Not that it means that they should even be back in the first place. I think some of them probably could do with some actual criminal time. But not everybody is going to like you, and not everybody's going to forgive you. But you've still got to carry on living. Life goes on.
But I learned a lot, and I feel like I'm so happy it happened, so grateful that I got canceled. Because it really changed my life. It showed me what I care about. It showed me what matters. It showed me I don't need to be on YouTube all the time. I don't need to be stressed about what's next. I don't need to be trying to think of the next idea, the next whatever, to be happy. Like, I'm happy sitting in this weird, dark living room with him, you know, watching candle reviews. Like, that makes me happy. And I want to make movies. And I want to get creative again. But those aren't at the top of my priority list, if that makes sense.
I will say one thing about Shane Dawson. Because I don't want to watch his stuff ever again. I don't fucking like a lot of the stuff that he did. And I don't want anybody to get confused in this video. If you comment on this video, why are you forgiving him? I don't forgive him for fucking anything. Because he didn't wrong me. You know, he didn't hurt me at all. You know, I'm not somebody that he's offended. I'm not somebody that he's upset. I'm not one of the people who has a right to forgive or say, oh, welcome back, Shane. That's not on me to do. I have absolutely no right to do that. Because it's up to you as an individual whether you choose to carry on watching